protester is sparring with a prominent Donald Trump supporter right outside Trump Tower. Pastor Mark Burns getting into it with a person claiming to be an undocumented immigrant. Take a look.
Do you support a racist? Can I get a yes or no answer? Do you support
Donald Trump is not a racist?
So you support a racist? Okay. And so do you want my family? You want me and my family to get supported? Do you want my mother and my little sister to be separated?
Just because you're loud.
So do you want my mother?
Just because you are talking louder than me, don't make you right. Don't make it proper.
I'm not asking. I'm asking a question. I am not saying a statement. I'm asking you a question. Do you want my mother and my father to be deported?
What I am saying is,
do you want my little sister to be separated from my mother? But do you want my mother and my father to be deported?
Trump is not a racist.
But do you want my mother and my father to be deported?
Do you want to continue to lie and wrong characteristics of a person?
Do you answer the question?
All right, Pastor Burns, can I get a witness? All right, you were in Trump Tower for a roundtable with minority leaders, and you are the co-founder and CEO of Now Television Network. You joined us. Wow, this was just an unbelievable situation there. How did you feel? Because you were trying to speak, and the man was not listening. He was shouting questions. You were trying to defend someone that you support, correct?
Sure, absolutely.
Mr. Trump, to say that he is not a racist.
Well, you know, again, it happened so quickly. I actually brought the gentleman along because I wanted to hear his concerns, thinking that we was going to have a logical, intelligent conversation. And then obviously he persists to yell and not really hear. And I think some people think that the louder they talk, you know, that makes them more convincing and right and accurate. And for me, I really just had enough of him yelling and screaming and incorrect information. Donald Trump being a racist. Donald Trump being a racist. The moment he began the conversation with incorrect information, the conversation became invalid. So therefore, there was no need to continue the conversation.
You know, when you take a look at that, it's just a little bit of a snapshot of some of the struggle, the strife, and some of the vitriol that you can see back and forth on both sides for those that support Donald Trump or those that support Hillary Clinton.
Right.
Some of the things we've been seeing in, you know, communities that are struggling, some of the protests coming forward from Black Lives Matter. You know, as a black man in this country, one that supports Trump, what is the solution? How do you bring people together when they won't even listen to one another?
Well, the biggest thing I think is got to start with the leadership. You know, again, our current president, Barack Obama, I think, as infamously known as our divider in chief. I mean, he really had an amazing opportunity to become a international voice of unification, of bringing people together, but he's chose in certain cases to be really one-sided when instead of being the unifier to bring our country together. And it's really I think that what you're seeing right now is not caused by Barack Obama. It's surely not caused by Donald Trump. It is you know, years of frustration between the races because our country is almost built on racial tension. But it's got to first start with the leaders. We got to first get rid of the adjectives that describe us. We got to stop being African American or Hispanic American. We got to just start seeing ourselves just as Americans. And the moment we stop focusing on those colors that really divide us, then we can really begin to start focusing on the colors that unite us. That's the vision of Dr. King.
Well, and so let me ask you this. So obviously you support Mr. Trump, and you mentioned here the vision of Dr. King. What would you say to these communities, minority communities that are struggling and looking for jobs in good schools and choices for their children in education? Why should they choose Mr. Trump? Well,
because obviously in mass, African Americans have been voting Democrat for over 50 years. That is facts. And after, in the 50 years that we've been voting Democrats, what do we have to show for? I think our educational, those in African American communities are still at what I call the bottom of the topo. We're not at the level that we need to be. And if you're understanding your frustrations, and you really, really want to see change, we can't keep making those same decisions expecting a different result to take place. Donald Trump wants to make sure that we empower our local businesses so we can truly bring jobs back to our country.
And he's saying to those communities in a meaning of outreach, you know, take a chance on him.
Absolutely.
What do they have to lose? All right, Pastor, thank you. Always a pleasure.
So happy to see you.